Welcome to Stockholm Archipelago Raid and the World Championship in F18 raid sailing. This is a spectacular race because it's a race through hundreds and thousands of islands, and today has been fantastic because we had a lot of lead changes. We pretty much had any weather you could ever think of, but one team really stood out from the crowd. Extremely slow start here. I thought we were going to have a massive battle on the start line, but light winds and slow starting. We have Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom, one of the definitely top guys in this fleet, are first over the line. You can see here now the rich is going to be richer. We have Fredrik Karlsson, Niklas Nordblom catching this little gust and just going away from the fleet again. A little gust makes a massive difference. We could just see them going up probably to 10 to 12 knots, heeling over, and then seconds later they're stopping. So you never know as the leading boat if you're going to be caught up. So they had first a fantastic reach over Ingaröfjärden and then a downwind, and then coming up here, and then there's going to be an upwind leg to the finish for the lunch stop. It looks like they are still in the lead, Fredrik Karlsson and Niklas Nordblom. And we have William Sunnax, the raid legend almost. He's been sailing the Archipelago raid several times. He's coming back here and he is in top shape obviously. And it looks like the British has actually on the upwind beaten the Swedish guys. It's going to be William Sunnax from Britain who takes the first leg. We had a really interesting finish with the Englishmen overtaking the Swedes. But what is actually the key of winning?
Well, we just think the boat is accelerating very well in the gusts, in the light winds between the islands, and then we're reasonably fast in the steady stuff out at sea. But I think that it's between the islands you have to be able to accelerate and respond to the gusts quickly.
I haven't figured out how many times you've done this race because you've done it so many times. Why do you come back?
I think this is the 6th time, and I come back because I simply can't understand what the point of travelling a lot is to just sail up and down in the same patch of water. This is lovely because you're at sea, you've got real space and nature to contend with as well as other boats.
Yeah, we lost it when we lost the pressure because we wasn't able to steering on the feeling on the upwind, and we have no help of the telltales because it was like spinnaker tape telltales. So.
And how are we going to solve that?
Now we're going to have the classic Ille telltales, the wool.
The wool, all right.
Yeah.
And how are you going to come back now from this, downfall?
I don't know. Well, we were happy with the second, so yeah. It's a long race, it's 4 days.
And you know, I spoke to the English guys and they said that they have names for everyone in this fleet, and it's always not so nice language. How is it working on your boat?
It's pretty good. But when Fredrik started do the bad words in German, in Deutsch, like Scheiße, then it's bad.
This is one of the most interesting things in this race because this is a new boat with a complete new setup. You see the sail is going down all the way down to the trampoline, and on the port side it doesn't even have a boom. And this was doing really well during the World Championships in Denmark. So this might be a game changer. You see here, it's almost like a windsurfing boom. Who knows? Is this the trick to win the Archipelago raid?
3, 2, 1.
Really tight start. We got a couple of boats going for the speed and taking the pin end. And the other ones are struggling to get away up there at the committee boat since it's so tight. Hard to find a place for oneself. The new deck sweeping boat, Scorpion, is doing really well. Caught up with these two front guys in just a couple of seconds. This is going to be interesting for sure. Now we have the two front runners coming up in a close battle. Oh yes, this is going to be tight. It's a really long upwind now to the next checkpoint. And Lars Linder and Erik Brunberg, old wolves, playing Archipelago games pretty much every year since the last 10 years. So they know what they're doing, for sure. They've also been sailing the World Championships in Denmark, so they're up to speed. Checking the navigation, looking at the other boats, seeing what to do, what to plan, what's coming up next. Eric, the crew, is a really good navigator. He's spending all his summers, if not on an F-18, it's on a normal sailboat, just learning more and more about these reefs and islands. So he for sure has some benefits from that, at least compared to the English guys who actually admit that they have never properly learned how to navigate this archipelago, even though they've sailed it 6 times. It's a really close battle between the 4 front runners here, going through the narrow channels coming up here. 4th place in the top squad is Ola Persson from a bit up north in Sweden. He's coming down here every year to do this race, and he is for sure someone to count with. And left dollars taking leg 2, coming on here in Rånäs harbor, and I'm pretty sure they are exhausted because that was a hell of an upwind. I can tell you that they were struggling. They were probably sailing in about 20 knots of wind and really choppy steep waves, but it was a close one because here is Freddie White and the skipper William Sunnox from England again in the top squad and almost taking the win, because they were actually taking in a lot of distance on the Swedes there in the end. And in the 3rd position we've got the Swedes, Lars Linder and Erik Brunberg. Fantastic effort from them. So quite an intensive day, and you managed to keep the English behind. How did you manage that?
It was not the start. The start was quite bad. We took the wrong way in the beginning. Went too close to Orne. But then we took our own decision. Went our own way. Completely.
So is that the key to success?
If you do a bad start, yeah. You need to navigate better than everybody else.
Yeah, the British has actually said that they're going for the classic raid thing when you come from abroad, that you don't know the archipelago very well, so you stay just behind and you're trying to pass at the end. And that seemed like they almost did that this time at the second leg with you guys, but you managed to keep them behind. First day of racing is over. 7 hours sailing in quite rough conditions, but this was the short day. Tomorrow the start is at 4 a.m. and it's supposed to be quite rough weather, so we will see how this will turn out. The English was the best today. They were pretty much unbeatable, but will they stand the rough weather? Tomorrow we'll see.